Reliance ethos runs really strong. I want to know, in such a large organization and so diverse, how do you get everybody marching to the same tune?
Well, I can again share with you very simply, and I believe that one needs to articulate the goal very clearly. I think that if we have a saying at Reliance that if you focus on the goal, you overcome all obstacles. If you focus on obstacles, you will never reach your goal. So that is one methodology that we all believe in. And the other most important aspect that I can share with you is it's very important that the entire team, from the top to the bottom, in whatever initiative you're executing, works with passion and is very loyal to the end cause. And if you can articulate the end game in a business, in terms of saying that if we are developing an oil and gas business, right, finding gas in India and reaching it to millions of households is really going to change lives of millions of people. I think that the loyalty to business goals, which have a larger societal purpose, really forces everybody to work to an end game. And that is what we try to do when we take each one of our initiatives, and even when we learn new businesses. Like in telecom, we didn't know anything about the telecom business when we started it in 2000. And we just said that it's very important that we grow this market, and 10 million phones, people in our villages must have phones, and I think that really binds people together.
One question, this is Jogendra Singh this side. I would like to ask, you said impediments should be removed from the development. I'd like to know from you, how is it that the same Indian, when he goes to private sector, does marvels, but when he's in the government, he does not deliver? What message you would like to give to the government to follow your good practices, which could help the business of the government also, and in governance? Thank you.
Well, I would agree with you entirely. And I think, as I've said, that we really need to transit and get rid of our colonial mindset, and we need to build a partnership. The most important thing is that governments have to be facilitators and create a spirit of trust. I think that if the Indian society is going to be a winning society, right, all of us have to be proud Indians. All of us have to be proud of all components and constituents of our business. And I personally think we are getting there.
What politicians need to do and what business leaders need to do to make the relationship more profitable so that we become leaders?
So my simple answer is build trust and respect each other.
Mukesh, you said that your entire Reliance team moves to a single focused vision. I'd like to know, how is that vision communicated? Obviously, you can't get down to the lowest rung of the ladder. Are your managers given special training to spread the vision to each one, every single cog in the wheel?
Let me, I think that what appears from the outside and what we go through on a day-to-day basis is very different. If we ourselves question ourselves whether we are really a well-oiled machine, let me tell you, at all times we are not satisfied with getting everybody on the same page. We work very, very hard to get everybody on the same page, and there are various techniques that we use internally. I can confess to you that we are only 60–70% there, but the there are standard methodologies that we use, and particularly when we scale up very fast. Like now in our retail business, we are already 8,000 people. We have aspirations to, in 2 to 3 years, employ 500,000 people. And these are things that we think about. Frankly, even we are learning. I cannot give you a very specific answer. I can only tell you that we are learning and we work at it, and there is no easy answer to this.
Good morning to you. Myself, Percy. We are into real estate as well as education. Going with the topic, what's the most challenging part that a leader is going to go through in the 21st century? The biggest challenge that you are, as a leader, that we're going to face?
Well, I think that the biggest thing that I worry about is talent and education. It's really for, if you're in education, I'm sure you know a lot better than me, but I worry about the skill levels that we have. How do we continuously rejuvenate ourselves? Because we are competing with the world at all times, and each one of us has to be better than our counterpart in the world. And are we doing enough to create the capacity for skilling? Are we doing enough to create the ecosystem for education? Should we not have the goals, like today, the top 20 universities in the world, 18 out of them are in the US. We have a couple, but should we not have a much higher goal in terms of saying we should have a larger share of the world's topmost universities? And ultimately, it is going to be the quality of an individual, right? The quality of each individual in our 750 million workforce that is going to make India win. And what do we do about that? And in our microcosm at Reliance, we worry about that and think in a 5-10 year time frame in terms of what does it take for us to not only attract the best talent, but then to develop, sustain it, so that we are in a world-winning and a world-beating mindset.
And
Sir, I have seen all your tapes, and I'm sure you find some of it here. I am spending a lot of time.
And Reliance is involved in heavy infrastructural development like oil, petrochemicals. But I think I happened to read somewhere that you are getting into something as simple as hairdressing saloons all over the country. I won't be able to use the services though. At any time in near future, is Reliance seriously thinking about primary health and education for the larger part of India where there's an abysmal infrastructure in these areas?
So we have a pilot rural transformation program that we are piloting right now, which in Gujarat, where we talk about really delivery of basic services to consumers at particular price levels, whether it be health, whether it be education. Education we want to do on a not-for-profit basis, but all the other services, how do you really integrate at the rural level? How do you create income at the rural level? And then how do you integrate this mass of consumers into, and not isolate them? This is a serious pilot that we are doing in parts of Gujarat. Our results are encouraging. We want to learn from it and then scale across the country.
Mukesh, one of your favorite subjects, energy. While all of us are trying to do a lot on non-conventional energy, non-fossil, etc., but it's a long way off. With the huge import bill and our over-dependence on oil imports, which way are the oil prices headed, and what do you think, how is it going to impact the development of India?
I can confess to you that with all my traders, like I have always been wrong on oil prices. I never expected them to be $100, so I am like, and publicly I'm willing to say that I, with my entire energy group, McKinsey consults with us, and they know that I have been wrong. Thank you.